We continue to be stuck in this very stormy, unsettled pattern through the state of Florida. What's going on, guys? I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. In this video, we're going to talk about that, of course. More storms coming for your Wednesday evening, September 27th, and this unsettled pattern is going to continue right on through the weekend for a lot of the state. Not everybody will break down where some drier air is trying to come through. We'll have the Florida forecast, of course, pinpoint forecast for North Florida, Central Florida, and South Florida. And then the tropics are doing weird things. Phillipe is not behaving properly. It's going to stay weak, but it continues to go off its forecast course. We'll break that down. And same with Invest 91L, that trailing disturbance. So we're going to get all into that towards the end of the video, so stick around for that. Before we get into it, if you do want to stay updated on all things Florida weather as we roll right on through the rest of hurricane season and beyond, you have to hit subscribe. Please do that if you want to stay updated again on everything. And if you find this content helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help us out a lot. So here we go. Future radar looking very similar to what it has looked over the last several days. That's 4 o'clock on your Wednesday, September 27th. And you see not everybody getting in on the storms, but there are several thunderstorms around. We had a couple of rocking storms last night. If you live or were visiting Seminole County, Volusia County, we had severe thunderstorm warnings. We had a tornado warning last night, did not come into fruition, but there was some pretty gnarly rotation last night. Thankfully, that never reached the ground and developed that. Nonetheless, we have more rain rolling right on through. Scattered storms continue. There's Thursday morning, 5 o'clock. I'm trying to get to the weekend a day early. You see the scattered storms north of Daytona Beach towards St. Augustine and into the Jacksonville area as well. We have decent rain to start your day on Thursday through the Keys into Naples, Fort Myers, also into Miami. This is where we're going to start to trend a little drier towards the panhandle. Some of that drier air from a dip in the jet stream, which I'm going to show you in a minute, starts to work its way through. That's 2 o'clock on Thursday. More afternoon thunderstorms, and then those will just increase in coverage for you through the rest of your Thursday evening. So if you've been trying to do anything in the evening, walk the dog, maybe start painting a fence or putting down some lawn care things or spraying for, I don't know, pests around your house or anything like that. If you've been trying to get that done and you need a dry period, this has certainly not been the week to do so. And we talked about that a few days ago. And really, for the next couple of evenings, just take them off. Just hang out inside because it's really not going to be conducive on a widespread scale anyway to get a lot of things done outside. Are going to have to do a lot of dodging, especially if something needs a couple of hours to remain dry to settle in, like sealing a deck or something like that. All right, so here's the deal. This has also looked the same, and this is something that we've been talking about as we're kind of locked in between two areas. There's a high pressure here, low pressure here, and it's funneling in all of that tropical moisture that's been chilling in the Western Caribbean. It's been drawn up through Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, and then right on into Florida. This pattern is going to stay the same for the next few days. You can see this dip in the jet stream right here. Note that counterclockwise flow right on through there. That's where some of the drier air settles in behind it through the panhandle. So I think once we get into Thursday and then especially Friday, it becomes drier in the panhandle than it's been over the past couple of days. But it is going to stay pretty wet for a lot of the Florida peninsula. All right, so your pinpoint forecast. Rain chances, there you go, 20% for us in Bonifay. Note the clouds, though, do stick around a little bit. Still an opportunity for some rain in Panama City through Pensacola. The higher rain chances further south and east away from that drier air towards Cedar Key and Gainesville, St. Augustine, Jacksonville. We are still in those elevated rain chances as well. Moving on into Central Florida, forget about it. We continue to keep that steady stream right off the Gulf of Mexico. We continue to fire up those storms. Again, rain chances anywhere from 70 to 80% for the most part on your Thursday, September 28th. Same deal for us into South Florida. We are further away from that dry air. We saw the future radar again for Thursday morning. We'll have more storms coming our way in the afternoon as well, but those rain chances staying sky high with temperatures back to the mid to upper 80s, so still not the best of times again, to be doing anything outside. Dodging, of course, those storms. But again, if you need anything that requires a couple of hours to be dry, again, putting something down, it's just not going to happen for the next couple of days. Here's the deal. There is all that tropical moisture surging in. That is a much bigger circle than I wanted to draw there, but you see what I'm talking about, that red on the infrared satellite. Going further to the east, we have that tropical system right here. Phillipe does look a little more defined. It's still battling some wind shear, but it looks a little healthier than what it did yesterday. I'll show you the latest on Phillipe in a second. And then here's the system, Invest 91L. This could become a tropical depression anytime, and it would get the name Rena if nothing else beats it out eventually. The thing is, note how close these two are together. So Phillipe is likely inhibiting the development of this disturbance to Invest 91L, and likely will if they stay tightly packed like that. So there's going to be a ton of uncertainty, and I'll show you the models in just one second. They're all over the place, and really for the next few days, like right on through the weekend and into early next week, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty as to where that next tropical system goes. Phillipe has already defied some of the forecasts here because it has stayed weak and because it has been slow. We always talk about this. When they remain weak, they had the tendency not to get flung out to sea. A lot of the model guidance on Phillipe was showing this thing going up and out, but you see here, a non-tropical area of low pressure. So again, this will be the remnants. So I know if you just look at this from the cone perspective, we have a storm coming towards us in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. We are going to get some very beneficial rain out of the deal from this, I think. On the island of Puerto Rico, it has been a long time coming. It's been hot. It's been dry. So this, I think, is going to be pretty favorable for us, even though you see us completely entrenched in this cone. I do think the rain, if you have family and friends in Puerto Rico, is going to be welcome. Latest computer models on Phillipe. You see it there going all over the place. I think we can pretty much take that off the table and that off the table. Most everything wants to be down here. I've seen a few longer range things back towards Jamaica and all the way out here, and then it regenerating out in this area. A lot to iron out. If it were to regenerate off our Florida coast, it would likely be a non-tropical area of low pressure that kind of gets swung back into the state. We're watching that. I showed you the European yesterday, and it shows that similar thing. We're looking at the circles here. That is Phillipe. Again, the darker red indicates the stronger spin. When we start to lose the color, it weakens, and when it's broad like that, it also shows that it's not very well defined, but you see it kind of rolling through here. Now it's all discombobulated. It's had a lot of land interaction. It does get lifted, but there's still a lot of questions because now we have a weak steering flow, and now we have interaction between the very weak remnants of Phillipe right there, and then what is likely at this time a tropical storm. Or it could be reversed. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is such a complex scenario, and there's different kind of outcomes that could play, whether which one absorbs the either, none, or they kind of play off of each other. But that's October 5th. You see here, there are the remnants of Phillipe hanging off the southeast corner of the United States, getting drawn in by an upper-level system, and then that's likely that other tropical system, likely Rena. But again, these are developing so slow that you don't want to name them before they actually become tropical because something may pop up and beat it. There are no indications that's going to happen right now, but it's something that, again, we are watching going forward. Latest modeling on 91L. And again, this is really grain of salt territory. Not even a grain of salt. I mean, we're talking about a mound of salt because these models, I don't think, have a clue where this system is going to go. And until this kind of breaks away from Phillipe, I don't think they're really going to understand here. So this is going to be kind of a wait and see thing through the weekend and early next week. Again, even this corner out here, even the Caribbean, we should just keep one eye on it. I don't think we need to be watching it with both eyes for any reason, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Again, just keep checking back again because there's a lot of uncertainty. You see, we have complete split going way out to sea. These still take it out to sea, but I mean, Phillipe did as well, and that's something that we talked about last week, that a couple of those members had them riding low, and if it were to remain weak like it did, it would also go low. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, we'll keep an eye on the tropics. Again, there's nothing threatening Florida in the short term, so I want to be clear about that. Just keeping an eye on things. For us, it's that tropical moisture that continues to surge in, producing these daily and nightly afternoon and evening thunderstorms that have been rocking in some cases. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Thank you a ton for the new subscribers that have hopped on board. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. If you hit the alert bell, you'll be alerted to any time we post new content, and we'll catch you next time.